We're here with the metal god. I love the fact, I know you've been told this before, that when you enter the Zoom room, it says, the metal god has entered the chat. And I came with my little spikes for you and also a cat lover mug.
Beautiful.
I came prepared.
Beautiful. Yeah, I have to put the metal guard on because at my time of life, I need to remember where am I? Who am I?
Well, everyone knows who you are. You're Rob Halford, obviously, of Grammy nominees, Judas Priest.
Ooh,
Congratulations on your Grammy nomination this year.
wow. It was such an exciting. It's the same for everybody that's nominated, you know. You put your phone on, ping, 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 and you never expect it. That's the joy of the Grammys. There's no kind of heads up or whatever. It's just absolute a shock and excitement, and the feelings. This is the second. We've had multiple nominations, but to get one for this record um, is just an extra blessing because of the all of the things that surround it. Like this band has been together for over 50 years and been flying the flag of metal. We do so much, we hope, for the metal community worldwide, particularly here in the United States. So yeah, you feel like a win already. The nomination is a win. And then when you're in such great company, Lars and I were texting each other, giving each other, the emoji thumbs up. Our friends Gojira, Spiritbox, Not Loose with Puppy.
Hmm.
Wow, is that everyone?
I think so. Yeah. It's great
Yeah,
company to be
it's
in. And
wonderful, and it's a great kind of broad demographic of all these different generations of metal maniacs. So yeah, we're in a great place and we feel wonderful.
well, congratulations or congratulations, because I'm still trying to get you on
Yes,
RuPaul's Drag Race, but we could take that.
yes,
I still want that to happen.
I know
But
it's your thing in life.
well, it should be your thing in life. But obviously, you got a
Yeah,
lot of other awesome things on your resume, including, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and of course, this Grammy nomination. And you were mentioning all the things surrounding it. Obviously, you're just releasing the 50th anniversary of Rock'n'Rolla. And also, when I was doing a little research, I realized that this, because we're in 2025 now, this Grammy Awards coincides with basically exactly the 20th anniversary of you rejoining Judas Priest after you'd been out of them. It was 2005, right? When you rejoined, or at least when that album, the first album you did
wow.
after the hiatus.
See,
So
Lindsay, you do your research.
I
You,
try.
you, I believe you. Yes. So, wow, that on top of everything else, it's just great. I mean, yeah. I think about this band. I live this band. Everybody in any band lives their band. They live their life. The friends in the band, the relationships that you have, the ups and downs, the ins and outs, the family thing. We call it family because that's what it is. Then you got your family of fans that support you and give you the life. And so, yeah, I just keep referencing the joy of all of the great metal memories throughout the decades that Judas Priest has created. All of these multiple albums, rock and roll, as you say, 50 years anniversary. Sad Wings of Destiny is waiting in the wings for its 50th anniversary. Numbers. Numbers are really important because they trigger all of these memories. And
Yeah.
they're by the grace of God go away because, wow,
Well,
millions of miles traveled around the sun, around the planet, all of the glorious events and opportunities that this band has sought out because of our absolute commitment and love and passion and dedication to metal. Yeah,
well,
this is like a pinnacle. When you're in the Grammy world and you're in such great company, not only in metal but throughout the industry. You know, it is. It's just the recognition, particularly amongst your peers. Um, yeah, it's a very strong positive type of emotion and one full of gratitude.
I love hearing this energy from you, because there are some people, when it comes to awards, they're kind of blasé about it. Oh, it doesn't matter, whatever. But
Now,
like in the last couple of years, you've had this, and also the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which I was at that ceremony. It was out here in LA, and Probably my favorite moment of that ceremony as an aside was you with Dolly Parton on stage. I've never seen anyone look more smitten and happy than you did when you were singing with Dolly, which was like, I imagine, a massive moment for you.
I
So
still can't. I have to look at it on YouTube just to see if it really happened. She is just this icon. I call her Saint Dolly. Because of the love that she puts, the love and the light that she puts out, the music that she makes, the philanthropy that she's constantly involved with, the hard work ethic this lady projects 24/7 is just very, very special and unique. That was a great night. That was a wonderful night. Again, to have, sometimes I think it's better to have these things happen later on because, yeah, some of us for whatever reason got a little bit jaded and blasé. That's never been the case with Priest. We treasure as I said, every opportunity and every moment of recognition. And regardless of your opinion and attitudes and feelings about awards and ceremonies and whatever, everybody loves a party. Everybody loves to see people get on. Everybody loves to see success. We're driven by that. It doesn't matter what you do in life. If you have a pay raise, it's a success. If you're in a good job, it's a success. You got a roof over your head, it's a success. All of these things that get overlooked, it's the small things that matter. I've always believed that. An award ceremony isn't a small thing in the big issue of life, it might be. But yeah, awards are great. They're motivational, they're inspirational. So nothing but good comes from them.
amazing. So you were talking about other things that surrounded Invincible Shield and why this makes this Grammy nomination especially important. Because I believe the last Priest album was 2018, and that was since then, Glenn sort of took a step back because of his Parkinson's, Glenn Tipton, and also you had a health scare, you had a cancer scare, and I believe Richie had a heart scare. Like, you guys all went through it in the last 6
We went
years,
through it.
7 years, I guess now. But tell me about making this record, Invincible Shield. I mean, I guess you guys are invincible when, kind of these things that a lot of people go through if they've been in a band for 50 years together. This must have been a special, meaningful album for you, and especially meaningful Grammy nomination because of all that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. All of the things that you've said are really vital parts and ingredients of the story of Invincible Shield. That's where the title came from. I'm thinking all the time about ideas for the band, music, stage sets, what we're going to wear, all that kind of stuff. It doesn't happen quickly. This band has really worked hard with a professional ethic to deliver the goods and to do the best that we possibly can, and to give our fans especially all of the best experiences that we can create as Judas Priest. But yeah, the time it took from Firepower to Invincible Shield, we had that horrible COVID epidemic going on, and that caused a lot of reflection. I had my prostate cancer scare through that. I was going to the hospital for tests and masking up and all that kind of stuff. And then we had to take it out, and then I had to have radiation. And then, of course, moving on, we had Richie's heart aorta scare at Louisville, Louder Than Life, which we just recreated in a different sense, in a great comeback type of vibe. But yes, resilience, Invincible Shield, I've said through the promotion of that album, and I still say it now, it's just two great words. We all carry this Invincible Shield within us. We don't really know we've got it until we're pushing up against something. When you're faced with a challenge or a difficulty, whatever it might be, you find you've got this kind of resource of power, like the people that are going through the horrible tragedy of the Los Angeles fire right now, and using music. Probably somebody's listening to Invincible Shield right now. The healing power and unification that music brings to us all, regardless of what music you're into, it's such an important part of who we are as people. And I think all of that essence went into Invincible Shield. I saw Glenn just recently. I went to see him around New Year's Eve, and he's just remarkable. He's just this remarkable man. We have the song No Surrender, which is kind of an homage to Glenn, but to all people that are facing these types of episodes in their life. Never surrender, never give up, never give in. That's been Priest's mantra from day one.
What was Glenn's, was this album, Invincible Shield, the first album that Glenn, because I know he worked on the album, even he's not part of the touring lineup anymore. Was this the first album that he worked on after getting his diagnosis? How did that affect, or did he know it during Firepower?
He was amazed, as much as we all were, that he had a Parkinson's condition for a really, really, really long time, you know, and he started to feel it in his playing and just little things going on. And eventually he took the tests and they told him, you've been living with this for a number of years. This has been going on and you haven't been aware of it, you know.
Oh, wow.
So I don't know how many years it's been over a decade. And to still see him with us, you know, fighting and staying on top of all these things. Like when you have Parkinson's, it affects you. It affects various parts of your body. He cannot play the guitar, you know. He can pick it up. He can maybe he can pick out a note or two, and he can find a riff or two, and there'll be some riffs coming along, I'm sure, for the next Priest album whenever that happens. So that part of him is still there. But to have that beautiful way of displaying your musicianship, you know, all of these great lead breaks that Glenn has made over the decades, all of that, to have that taken away from you, that's the brutal cruelty of Parkinson's. But he's still there, he's still Glenn, you know. When are we going to have another writing session? All of this kind of positivity, and he's surrounded by love and positivity from his bandmates, from his family, from the fans around the world, people like yourself, Lindsay, who bring him into this interview. It's important, you know, it's important. So yeah, he's doing good.
That's great. Where does your positivity come from? I mean, you've been through a bunch of stuff. I've read your memoir, Confess. You went through a lot of stuff in your personal life, and like you mentioned, you had the cancer scare, which I didn't know about, by the way, because I've interviewed you a couple of times since 2020, and I did not know about that. I don't know if you were keeping that under wraps, but you've been through a lot, and yet look at you, like brightening my Monday as we speak here, jolliest person in metal. Where does that come from for you?
My sobriety. You know, I just celebrated 39 years this past January the 6th. One day at a time. It's a great way to live, you know, because you're living in the moment. You know, it's pointless worrying about tomorrow because you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Plans and ideas and dreams are vital, but tomorrow hasn't happened. Yesterday's gone. It's in the past. You can't change anything. You can maybe look at things that could be utilized to fix things in the next opportunity. So living in the moment is just so important. And look, you know, where I'm at in my life, I've got nothing to complain about. Absolutely nothing to complain about. But a lot of it is mental health. A lot of it is mental health, regardless of who you are and what you do in life. To try and find the balance and harmony of mental health is really, really important. I used to have really, really, really bad depression, not only when I was drinking, but as I came out of drinking. And I think that kind of came from my mum's side with the DNA and all that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Somehow I got through that.
Did you go to therapy or
I
what?
didn't go to therapy. No, I did my research. Thomas, you're doing your research again. So yeah, a lot of it again is trying to understand. Sometimes there's a chemical imbalance that has to be treated and can be treated successfully with the right pharmaceuticals. But sometimes you bring it on yourself, you know, and that is stress. That is just over worrying about things that really haven't happened, or in your mind they might happen, and all this plays on into your mental health. So that is something that I treasure amongst everything else: sobriety and staying in a mental positive frame of mind, because negativity is crushing. Negative thinking, negative things that you see and hear on the internet or on the news I try and just blank that out because it has no value, it has no purpose, it doesn't build, it destroys. So all of that is just part of trying to find the joy of waking up and thanking God for the day and just getting through the day, and just trying to push out as much goodness and kindness that you possibly can. It's easy to do, and the circumstances surrounding getting to that place can be difficult, but we've all got a good heart, you know, and so all of that is a part of staying in this, is staying in the light. Stay in the light, stay with the love.
You got good vocal cords too. I just saw you guys play at the YouTube Theater. I think it was in October, pretty recently in LA. And I mean, do you mind me asking how old you are? 70?
70, am I 74? I'm 74 this year.
I thought
Am
you
I
were
74
72.
this year? I was born in 1951, so am I
Okay.
74 this year? I
Yes.
don't know.
Well,
It's
that's
like
great
that
that you're
Aussie
not
thing.
keeping track.
It's like that Aussie thing. Sharon, how old am I?
Well, okay, so 73 at the time you did this performance, and how are you keeping, there's men 20 years younger than you who after a lifetime of singing like at that operatic level, they don't have it anymore. Like, do you do something to like, throat lozenges, steaming do you do stuff?
um, hydration, so important. Hydration and rest. Hydration and rest. It's a funny thing. I posted something on my Instagram the other day of an interview that Tina Turner was doing with Oprah by her side, and some lady in the media was talking about sleep, and she said, "How many hours do you sleep?" And Tina goes, "Oh, between 10 and 12 hours." She said, "Every day." She goes, "Yeah, but
Wow.
between 10 and 12 hours." And this lady got the interview goes, "Oh, do you know what time I get up to go to work?" And she goes, "What?" She goes, 2 a.m. She goes, 2 a.m. Girl, you're going to die young, you know? So rest as much as you possibly can. And that's so difficult on the road, but you've got to find place for yourself, for rest, for you, for this moment where you can just be away in your hotel room, switch everything off, just take some deep breathing, relax, all that kind of stuff. So physical awareness about your body, because the voice is an instrument from your body. So you have to make sure that your body is in the best possible shape. Beyond that, who knows? Look at my friend Ian Gillan, still screaming, still doing great work, and he's tipping 80. Brian Johnson from
Oh
AC/DC.
yeah, totally.
Who else? Klaus from Scorpions. We're celebrating a 50th anniversary show, 60th,
Wow.
60th anniversary show with the Scorpions this summer in Hanover at a big stadium
Wow.
with my next door neighbor Alice. And Alice is still out there, with his voice. And I know we've all got different techniques, but what I'm trying to say is all of us are still working and giving the best possible performances with our voices. And I'm assuming that a lot of them are thinking the way that I do. You've got to stay healthy as much as anything else is going. Try and keep your health. It's that old people thing. How are you doing today? My back's killing me. Try and stay in a good physical shape.
As I mentioned, this year marks the 20th anniversary of when you reunited with Judas Priest after being out of the band for a while, and also the 50th anniversary of your first album just came out. I actually think you've been back in Priest now about as long as you were the first run of the band, maybe even a little bit longer. Like, I guess is a little bit of a cliche question, but did you expect that here you'd be in 2025 up for a Grammy nomination and for a new album? I know for a band like Priest, it's important to not just be thought of as like a legacy act or a nostalgia act. So to be up for your 19th album, 50 years in, I mean, could you have ever imagined all this?
No, no, because in rock and roll, there's no guarantees. You know, there are certain professions where there's it's a fact that the things are going to stay solid if whatever doesn't happen drama. But with rock and roll, you just don't know. You don't know from one album to the next, from one tour to the next. The driving force, I've said 1,000 times, Lindsay, is our incredible, beautiful, wonderful fans that support us, because you have to have an end game, and your end game is to show off the new album, show off the new song, show off the new show. You're nothing without your fans, They're a really important part of the life of Judas Priest. We call them our Priest family, extended family. So to have a destination, a new destination in music is really important. As you say, we could be resting on our breaking the law, living after midnight laurels that are still important for every show that we do, but we're not. We're curious as well. What can we do next? You know, there's always a new metal song that you can make, and then you make it, then you make another, and you make another, and you put in the time and you put in the the blood, sweat, and tears, because it is that. Even now, you put all that into it, and you've got an album. You know, so that that desire has never really left us, and that's another crucial part of the fact that here we are, over 50 years later, loving what we do and seeing no end in sight.
Well, what is next? I mean, like I said, there were about 6 years between the last two albums. I hope we don't have to wait 6 more years for the 20th Priest record. And it sounds like you're full of ideas, and that
Ideas, always
Glenn as
ideas.
well.
Yeah, always ideas. This thing is full of stuff. Like, I wake up in the night and I've got a song in my head, and I put my phone on, and I do a little riff for an idea, and then I get up and have breakfast and I play it back, and it's absolute rubbish. Rubbish.
I'm sure not all of it is.
It
Once in a while,
felt
you
good at
probably
the
hit gold.
time. It felt great. Oh, this great melody. Put it down, it comes back. But this stuff does have ideas in it all the time. Words, I love words. Found a new word the other day that I put in the phone. I can't find it now. It begins with a P. But I love words, you know. And one word for me as a lyricist can trigger a whole message for a song. So, you know, this phone is always with me. I hear a word on the TV, or I see a word
What's your
in the
favorite?
press.
What's your favorite lyric that you've
My
ever
favorite
written?
lyric? Oh, wow, there's so many. There's so many. I got some really nice feedback for the work on Panic Attack.
Mhm.
You know, the clatter and the clamor of incense keys can bring a nation to its knees on the wings of a lethal on bird of prey. That's my job, you know. Ian's a brilliant bass player. Glenn's a great guitar player. Scott's a great drummer. Richie's a great guitar player. Andy produces really well. It's my job to do the best work in the lyrical realm with the messages.
Can I ask you
So
about sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but since we're talking about songs from Invincible Shield, Giants in the Sky, which, given everything we just talked about, has a pretty poignant lyric to it.
yes, it does. It does. It was in reference to Ronnie and Lemmy, and rock and roll radio, and the way that music is always in the sky, in the airwaves, whether it's terrestrial or coming from a satellite. Giants in the sky, these great people that will live forever. Their music will live forever, and beyond that, you know, giants in the sky can be a metaphor for a lot of good things. But just looking up at the sky at night, I did it last night because we had a full moon here in Phoenix. Your mind just, my mind just explodes with the joy and wonder of the universe and life in general. So giants in the sky, it can mean anything. The tankers that are flying over Los Angeles right now, helping people, you know, dropping retardant and water and doing such beautiful things. All the first responders. You don't have to be in the sky, you know. Everybody's a giant of heroism right now in Los Angeles at every level. So
Yeah.
that's a great song that means a lot of things.
Yeah. I know I need to let you go, so I'll just say, in terms of what's next, definitely excited to see you at the Grammys, rooting for you.
Are you going
Definitely,
to be there?
I
You're
am
going to
going
be
to be
there.
there. Yeah.
Come
I
and say
hope
hello.
you're
Do
going
a
to come
selfie.
out. You're going to come out. Well, I hope I see you out
Yeah,
there.
I'm pretty much certain. Well, just before we started this interview, I saw on the wire that the Grammys are going to go ahead. There's been
Yeah.
a lot of, you know, heart wringing, soul and ringing, but they put the Recording Academy just put out a beautiful statement, great words, talking about the fact, as we just mentioned, the power of music to unify and heal. So the recording industry has been working with the local authorities throughout Los Angeles and making sure that the resources are there, and there's going to be no interruptions with the incredible work that needs to be done to rebuild.
Mhm.
But the fact that it will obviously be utilized as a focus for all the first responders. It'll be a fundraiser because you have to do this now, you know. It's horrible, the world we live in terms of news and attention.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks, something else will be, you know, top of the heap. So we have to strike now. Everybody in the world has compassion and empathy for the people of Los Angeles. So let's keep that. Let's keep that on the front burner for the Grammys on February the 2nd, and tune in and throw in a buck, you know, throw in $1. Anything. It is just going to be so important and valuable. It's going to be a great night, a great celebration, a lot of love and light, and you need that. You need that to build from tragedy. So yeah,
absolutely.
I'll see you at the Grammys, Lindsay.
I'll see you there. I'm looking forward. I have a list. I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to the next album. We will get you on Drag Race because you know that Simon Le Bon, fellow Brummie and also Rock Hall class of 22 classmate of yours, was on the UK version. But the last thing I want to ask you before you go, because I mentioned Confess, your memoir that came out 2 or 3 years ago, one of my favorite rock and roll autobiographies of all time. When's the biopic coming? And who's going to play you?
I have no idea. I have no idea. No idea. That's the furthest thing from my mind. I mean, I've yet to see. The good news is, as Robbie
Williams.
As Robbie Williams has just shown us, you can be a chimpanzee in a biopic. That would be great. Let's think of me as some kind of exotic creature.
Or we could have Timothy Chalamet, who just played Bob Dylan, play you.
Have you seen that? Have you seen it? I
haven't yet, but I've heard it's very good.
I haven't seen it yet, but he is such a beautiful actor, and he's got so much talent, and he can turn his hand to anything. I'd be very happy if it was Timothy, and I'll give him all of my black country yam yam type of cadence in the way I speak. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Who knows?
Let's put that into
Anything is possible.
Anything's possible. Let's put that into the universe as well as another win for Judas Priest at the Grammys. I'll see you there. And thank you again, Rob. It's always just so wonderful to talk with you. You're the best.
Thank you, Lindsay. All the best, everybody.